Hey Celtic fans, welcome into today's show where I'm going to be previewing Celtics' first game of the regular season, which is taking place on Wednesday night. Hey, if you're not following me on Twitter yet, go ahead and give me a follow before the season gets going at Jimmy_Crowther. That's where you can get all my NBA takes, Celtics and non-Celtics as well. But I also want to make sure you subscribe to our Celtics channel, youtube.com/CelticsTV. Because the season is here, and I know you're excited to watch your Boston Celtics go up against all the best competition in the NBA. And for all your Celtics coverage, whether it's about the latest trades, the latest free agency signings, the latest injury news around the Boston Celtics, or previews just like this one, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. That first game, Wednesday, December 23rd, Christmas Eve, is going to take place against the Milwaukee Bucks in Boston, Massachusetts at TD Garden, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Look, the Bucks and the Celtics both didn't have great preseasons. In fact, neither of them won a single game. But also, at the end of the day, preseason, it doesn't matter at all. And that game is going to be on TNT because that's two really heavyweight Eastern Conference championship contenders in Boston and Milwaukee, so you'll be able to watch it wherever you are. We know that Kemba Walker will not be playing. Tristan Thompson, at the time in which I am recording this, his status is still up in the air as well for the Boston Celtics. Not sure whether or not he will be there, and if he is, I doubt he starts because he didn't play much in preseason, so that means you'll probably see Daniel Theis starting in the center position. But again, no Kemba Walker, so the backcourt it's going to look a little funky for the Boston Celtics in game number one. If you're trying to look a little bit more funky, go to chatsports.com/Celtics deal and get any of your Celtics gear for up to 65% off, at least through Christmas. So if you're watching this after Christmas, sorry you missed it, but chatsports.com/Celtics deal has their gear available for a very limited time at 65% off. Whether you need a new Celtics t-shirt, a new Celtics jersey, a hat, a hoodie, a sweatshirt, new shoes, new socks, whatever you want, chatsports.com/Celtics deal has got you covered. Go ahead, open up a new tab, and get that link in there. That's chatsports.com/Celtics deal. Find your gear for up to 65% off. Let's talk about the starting five for the Boston Celtics and what I think it's going to look like. Yeah, Javonte Green is the projected starter as of right now. Like, he started in the preseason, all three games. Why? I don't really know. I saw some people commenting on Twitter, and they were like, why are we starting a fringe NBA player and not our lottery pick, Aaron Nesmith, next to Marcus Smart, or even Peyton Pritchard at this point, or even Jeff Teague as the starting point guard? Why are they starting Javonte Green? I don't know. But it's what they did in the preseason, so we're going to project it here in the regular season, at least for these first couple games with him and Marcus Smart in the same backcourt. Jaylen Brown, of course, there at the 3 with Jayson Tatum as your small ball 4. And for now, Daniel Theis as your starting center, at least until maybe we see Tristan Thompson or somebody else kind of take over. But Theis, look, he works his butt off, and he's a great defender. Only problem I worry about with Theis in this game is going up against Brook Lopez and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the middle for the Milwaukee Bucks. The big two for Boston, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, didn't look so great in the preseason. Now, they only played 24 minutes per game in 2 games in which they played, but both of them shot the ball under 20% from beyond the three-point arc. 15.4% from Tatum, 16.7% from Jaylen Brown. Assists were fine. Rebounding, they were equal at 6 per game. Neither of them scored all that well. Tatum at 14.5 actually led the team, and Jaylen Brown at 10.5 was third on the team. And maybe that just says more about where the Celtics were at preseason-wise than themselves. But you look at some of the rest of the guys, 2 of your top 5 scorers in preseason were rookies. Aaron Nesmith at 8.5 points per game over 2 games, and Peyton Pritchard, the man who I owe all the apologies to, at 10.5 points per game. Jeff Teague also looked really, really strong in preseason, and I think he should get some reps with the starters, at least until Kemba Walker comes back, but apparently that's not the way it's looking. Now, you saw the top 5 scorers there, and at the end of the day, honestly, the starters for the Celtics just wasn't that good, but they weren't that good, but which Celtic was the most impressive to you in the preseason? Honestly, I'm going to say Peyton Pritchard. He impressed me the most because I didn't expect him to play so well. He had 16 points in that first game. Second game, not quite as good, but still looked strong, and I trust in him in Brad Stevens' rotation. So, which Celtic impressed you the most? Let me know in the comment section. Let's break down the Bucks, the Boston Celtics opponent for this game, who they are very familiar with as an Eastern Conference foe. New look for the Bucks, though. Jrue Holiday will be in there as their starting point guard, with Donte DiVincenzo joining him in the backcourt. No more Eric Bledsoe as they upgrade to Jrue Holiday. Khris Middleton, of course, the all-star small forward slash shooting guard slash wing slash whatever you want to call him in today's NBA, in there at the 3. And then the two big men are the two that I'm the most worried about if I'm the Celtics. Giannis Antetokounmpo, of course, the reigning two-time MVP, and Brook Lopez in the middle. The main reason I worry about these two is because I don't love Jayson Tatum guarding Giannis, and I don't love Daniel Theis guarding Brook Lopez, because they're both a little bit undersized for their positions, and Giannis and Brook Lopez are oversized for their positions. But much like the Celtics, the Bucks didn't win a game in the preseason. They lost 2 straight to the Dallas Mavericks, and honestly, they didn't look that good in either one of them. Now, given the Dallas Mavericks looked a lot better in that preseason game, but the Bucks played all of their starters all the way through the third quarter, and they still really couldn't hang on against Dallas. And then, against New Orleans, Zion Williamson absolutely popped off and got them a 127-113 win over Milwaukee. Maybe a little bit of concern coming from Milwaukee's side, but again, it's preseason, so I'm not going to get too up in arms about it right now. Their leading scorers in the preseason, of course, it was Giannis, who only played 2 preseason games. He didn't play the third because it's preseason. 24.5 points per game for the reigning MVP. Khris Middleton had a really, really good preseason at 20 points per game. Bobby Portis off the bench, one of their newest additions. I actually really liked what I saw from him at nearly 11 points per game. Showed that he can shoot the ball a little bit from the mid-range and ran in transition well. The newcomer, Jrue Holiday, didn't play all that well, but also didn't play all that much at 10 points per game. And then Donte DiVincenzo was their 5th leading scorer at 8 points per game, who played in all 3 games for Milwaukee. They got a new look bench, too, with Bryn Forbes, Torrey Craig. They also added DJ Augustine to that bench. They're a deeper team than they were last year. Now, in Game 1, as you're here at the end of the video, I want you to make your predictions for the Boston Celtics and what you think they're going to look like, or who you think is going to score the most. Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Jrue Holiday. My one quick prediction here is that Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum are going to end up canceling each other out in the scoreboard, so I think Giannis will probably score the most. But I'm going to say something. I'm going to make a prediction here for Boston. You guys actually might like this one, because I made a prediction over on our Warriors channel that I don't think Warriors fans are going to like, but you're going to like this one. I think Boston wins Game 1 at TD Garden by 4 points. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. My prediction is 124-120. Boston defeats Milwaukee to open up the season 1-0.